Hi everyone, Fierce Technology. What we have here is the Apple iPhone 5, the flagship device from Apple, and the Galaxy Note 2, the flagship device from Samsung, and basically Android in general. It's their new flagship device. We're going to do a head-to-head just so I can break down the differences between each device and the advantages of each one over the other. So here we go. The first thing that you'll notice between each of these devices is the screen size. The Samsung Galaxy Note 2 uses a 5.5-inch display, and it uses a 1280 by 720 pixel display. And the iPhone 5 uses a 4-inch display that's 1136 by 640. They call it the Retina display. The Galaxy Note 2 does use Gorilla Glass, so that's the unscratchable glass. This is Gorilla Glass 2, so it is thinner than the previous generation. And in my experience, the Gorilla Glass 2 does shatter a lot easier. So dropping your phone at a distance like that, you got to be really careful that it will shatter quite easily. And it's no difference with the iPhone as well. The iPhone is very delicate of a screen, so it will shatter quite easily if you drop it. We'll go into a physical comparison between each of these devices. I put the iPhone 5 on top of the Galaxy Note 2 just so you can see the size difference in that sense right there. On the back, you can see the build quality. The iPhone 5 has an aluminum build in the middle, and on the outside edges, it does use the glass like the previous generation iPhones, the iPhone 4 and the 4S. The body on the Galaxy Note 2 is primarily made of plastic, so a little bit cheaper feeling, but it won't scratch as easy as the aluminum. On my iPhone 5 right here, you probably can't see, but I have put a clear plastic cover over it just to prevent it from scratching. You can see the cover right here is already scratched there, but it's not scratching my iPhone. For charging port, the iPhone 5 uses the new Lightning cable. A lot of people have had a lot of complaints about the Lightning cable, but it's about time for a change, and a lot of the other manufacturers have changed their cables and chargers a lot more often than Apple has. So it's due for a change, and they've done it on the iPhone 5 and all their newer devices. Samsung Galaxy Note 2 is using micro USB, which has kind of come the benchmark of all other devices now. So any of your micro USB chargers, car chargers, all that, it's all going to be useful on the Galaxy Note 2. On the side of the devices, the iPhone 5 has an aluminum construction on the side, and the Galaxy Note 2 again is plastic all around the edges, and it's more of a shinier chromish type titanium plastic material that they have put on there. We'll do a close-up now on the fronts of each device so you can see just how big, again, the Galaxy Note 2 is. We'll get into processors now. The Galaxy Note 2 uses a 1.6 gigahertz quad-core processor with 2 gigabytes of RAM, and the iPhone 5 uses a 1.3 gigahertz A6 dual-core 1 gigabyte of RAM. So 1 gigabyte of RAM versus 2 gigabytes of RAM, and 1.3 dual-core versus 1.6 quad-core. So a lot of people just looking at that stat alone would say, oh wow, well the Galaxy Note 2 just absolutely blows away the iPhone as far as speed and everything. But when you actually play around with both devices, the way that Apple sort of gives out that speed and processes everything on their phone, they've kind of made it just really quick, and you won't even notice that it's not a quad-core device compared to the Note 2, which does run just as quick. But in my opinion, if you put a 1.6 gigahertz quad-core on the same operating system as this, and you keep the 1.6 gig quad-core processor on your Galaxy Note 2, I would definitely say that Apple's iOS would run a lot faster, a lot smoother. But like I said, as it lays out right now, even though the processor and the RAM is better on the Note 2, I find both of them run just as quick, and you really can't tell any difference as far as that. The one thing that I love about the Galaxy Note 2 compared to the Galaxy Note 1, North American version at least, is they've brought in the home button from the S3 onto the Galaxy Note 2. I hated having just all those buttons right here just like that. They've brought back the home button, so it just makes it a lot easier for operation on the Note 2. We'll get into the camera now. Both devices use an 8 megapixel camera that do 1080p HD video, both at 30 frames per second. We'll go into the camera of each device just so you guys can get an idea. Not Instagram, but camera, so we'll go into camera right there. So one thing that you will notice is the quality of the image is just drastically better on the iPhone. Just in the viewfinder display right here, you can just see the coloring on the screen of the Galaxy Note 2. It's got that yellowish tint to it. The low light picture taking is just not adequate at all. Apple's put a lot of thought into their camera, and they definitely have an improved camera. The video stabilization on the new camera is a lot better than the previous generation iPhones. I'll take a couple of pictures here. Both take really quick pictures. That's not a problem. We'll go into the pictures that we have. So again, you can just see, just by looking at this display, you can just see the quality in the picture taking on the iPhone 5 compared to the Galaxy Note 2. We'll go back to the front of each device so you can see the front-facing camera. The Galaxy Note 2 camera lens is just right there near my thumb. You can see that that's a 1.9 megapixel front-facing camera that does do HD video quality as well for the HD Skyping. And we've got the front-facing camera on the iPhone 5, which is also a 1.3 megapixel camera that does the HD video FaceTime. So I'm not going to go into an Apple iOS versus the Android operating system, but the one thing that the Android operating system does have an advantage over is just the customization in it, as far as customizing where you want things. And the iPhone is just more of a grid type layout. There's not a lot of customization. That's a positive advantage and a non-positive advantage for each device as well, because a lot of people who pick an Android phone or pick a phone in general just want that customization, or a lot of people who want a smartphone and don't want a lot of that garbage behind it will pick up an iPhone just because of that ease of use and that easy to pick up. So you kind of got to decide what you like. If you prefer just the easy, simple operation with the advantages of doing some advanced things, then you can pick up the iPhone. If you're more into the customization, more into those advanced geeky, I say, features, then you want to pick up an Android phone. So like I said, I'm not going into a huge debate on Android versus the Apple iOS, but that's kind of my little general breakdown of it right there. Both of these phones have launched with 4G LTE, so 4G LTE is compatible if your network operator offers 4G LTE, so check that out before you purchase a phone, and both of these phones will run really quick as far as internet goes and downloading and all that. The Galaxy Note 2 is running Android 4.1 Jelly Bean, and the iPhone 5 is running iOS 6.01. Both of these are the latest and greatest from Android and the iOS operating system. We'll put the iPhone aside for a second just so we can do a quick walkthrough on what the Galaxy Note 2's operating system does look like. So it's your typical Android. That's your home screen. You can go through, customize your home screen. You can customize widgets. You can remove things if you want to remove them. Just remove them up. And the one thing you can do as well, set wallpapers, add widgets, all of that thing. And we go into apps. We've got apps. You can click the tab up there and you can add widgets to your home screen from there as well. So a lot of customization, as I said before, with your Android operating system on the newest one, 4.1 Jelly Bean. And I haven't mentioned yet, but the Galaxy Note 2 does come with what's called the S Pen. So a really cool device that you can go through and you can use this. You can draw on your screen with the S Pen. Another cool feature is if, say you put your S Pen down and you walk away, your Galaxy Note 2 will vibrate and will play sound on the screen just to let you know that you're going away from your pen. So it's kind of prevents you from losing your pen. So the typical operation as well, up at the top, you can fully turn on everything, tells you about software updates, but all the different things that you have open there as well. So really nice advanced device. There's just a million and one things you can learn on an Android device. So we put the Galaxy Note 2 down and we picked up the iPhone 5. So it's your typical operating system from iPhone. So it's got your grid type layout. iPhone 5 does add one extra row of icons compared to the previous generation iPhones. And it's got your nice grid up here that you can pull down and you can update your tweeting, or you can update your Facebook status. You can see all my updates and stocks and all that stuff. So a lot of cool advanced things that you can do through that top. Not as enhanced, as complex as the operating system on Android. So that's pretty much it. It's just pretty very basic from that sense. The Galaxy Note 2 does use a 3100 milliamp battery, so it's just an absolutely huge battery on the Galaxy Note 2. The iPhone 5 uses a 1440 milliamp battery. So as far as battery life goes for each device, I've used each device extensively now, and I have to say it's just dead even. Like, you really can't give an advantage from one to the other. And by dead even, I mean dead horrible. Both devices barely will get you through a day when you have your email and when you have your Facebook and all that hooked up to it. So you really got to keep a charger in your vehicle or in your office somewhere close by to just throw your phone on the charger all the time. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up. I'm not going to go into too much advanced detail. This is just a slight breakdown to help you guys decide. If you have any questions or comments on any one of these devices, please leave them below. I'll do my best to answer any of your guys' questions. Throw me a like if you appreciate my video, and don't forget to check out a couple of my other videos. I've got some unboxings of all these devices and comparisons and speed tests and all that. So go check out my other videos, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye-bye.